Okay, so hello everyone. In this video, we are going to start a new chapter in Django itself. So today we are going to learn about working with Django middleware. Okay, so we'll try to understand what is this middleware concept in Django. Okay, so let's suppose there is a user. Okay, so this is a user. So user will send the request. User send the request to where? User may send the request to the Django server. Okay, let's suppose this is the request is going. Okay, and what we call it? Let's suppose this is a request. So where this request will go? So this request will go to the Django server. This is what? Let's suppose this is the Django server. Okay, and after that, what Django server do? Django server will return the response. Django server sends what? Response. Okay, so this is what response. Okay, so what is this middleware concept? So middleware means whenever user is sending a request, okay, and whenever the response is coming, so it is not coming directly from the server, or the request is not going directly to the server, but what happening in between? In between there is one middleware, okay, who can process all the requests which is going, whatever incoming requests are there, whatever the outgoing requests are there, so it can be checked by the middleware. So this is nothing but middleware, right? So whatever requests are going to the server, but they will not go directly to the server. First of all, they will interact to the middleware. Okay, so this request will validate by the middleware. If the request is valid, then it will go to the Django server. Okay, so whenever the server generating the response regarding that request, so directly response will not go to the user, but it will go to the middleware first. Then only if everything is correct, then it will go to the user. Okay, so this is what middleware. And in Django itself, there are different types of middleware. We have different types of middleware. Predefined middleware are there, and we can create the customized middleware as per our requirement. Let me give you a small example so you can understand, you can relate as well with this. Okay, so for example, let's suppose I'm opening a Chrome browser. Okay, and let's suppose I'm writing here, let's suppose google.co.in. Okay, I'm writing here google.com address. Okay, so what I typed, you just see here what I'm typing. I'm just typing here. Let's suppose I'm typing here amazon.in. Okay, so you can see here what I typed. Just so what I typed amazon.in, and if I press enter, right? So you can see here, see initially what I typed Amazon.in. So how this forward slash came, how this HTTP came, how this double forward slash is coming, how this column is coming. So this is coming just because of middleware. Because middleware is there, you have written this Amazon.in here only. As a user, you have requested Amazon.in. Okay. So this request went to the middleware. So when this request went to the middleware, it was not as per the standard. So middleware added some HTTP, okay, protocol and some forward slash something. Then after that, after middleware, the request was like this. Okay, so this request went to the server. Okay, and as per this request, server generated some response, and that response checked by the middleware and displayed to the user. Okay, let's suppose I'm writing here HTTP colon forward slash what I'm typing Google dot co dot in. Okay, so what I'm typing here, let me just copy it first. So I have typed here this particular address. Okay, HTTP colon forward slash. I have typed this, right? So let's just press enter. After typing this address, let's press the enter. Okay, now let's copy this, okay, and just paste it here. Okay, can you see the difference? Can you see the difference? What I have typed? I have typed, okay, so I have typed what? HTTP, but what actually it has written HTTPS. I have written here google.co.in, but what actually I am getting www.google.com. So who is modifying? Who is modifying our original request into the standard one? Who is modifying? So here in between, in the request and response, there is middleware concept. This middleware will take care of every request and every response. Whatever responses are coming, whatever the requests are going on, it take care. It all the check by the middleware, right? So I hope you are understanding what I'm trying to say. Okay, so today is day 41. Let's keep here that note, right? Okay, so let me just delete this. Okay, so now let's understand a little bit definition about this middleware. Okay, so we can say here at pre-processing of request. Okay, so whenever request is going to the server, there is a pre-process in between, or we can say post-processing of the of request. Okay, so at pre-processing means when the request is going to the server, or at post-processing. Post-processing means the response is coming from the server. Okay, so in between, if you want to perform any activity, then you can use the middle, right? So if you want to perform any activity automatically, then we should go for filter. Okay. Then we have to go for the middleware concept. Okay. So let's suppose there is a website like amazon.in/mobile. Okay. So what we are trying to do, we are trying to access this mobile page. Okay. But mobile page is under development. Okay. Under like the development is going on this mobile page, or some testing are going on. So we don't want to display this mobile page on the Amazon website, but we want to display some custom message instead. Whenever the request is going to access the mobile page, we want to display some custom message. Okay, we want to avoid to access this mobile. So what we can do, we can create a middleware which will tell to the user like this page is temporary, not accessible, or on this page development is going. Let's suppose I'm writing here amazon.in, okay, /mobile. So what happening, I'm getting the mobile page here, but this page, let's suppose some new products are there, or developers changing the designs of this page, or some security reason we don't want to display this page, but we want to display the custom message to the user, so we can take the help of middle, right? Okay, so when we want to submit the form, whenever you want to submit the form, okay, submit the form. Okay, so whenever we are trying to submit the form in Django, so submitting form is which request, get request or post request? So it is the post request. Okay, so whenever there is a post request, there should be a validation in Django. So what is the name of that validation? So there should be a validation which is known as CSRF token validation. Okay, so okay, so how does this CSRF verification happen? So for this CSRF token validation, we have one middleware in between, and the middleware name is that middleware name is CSRF view middleware. Okay, This- and let's suppose when you are writing HTTP only, as we already discussed about this, when you are writing HTTP, so automatically your HTTP protocol is converting into secure protocol, means hypertext transfer protocol, S stand for secure. So who is adding this security in this protocol in the request? So there is a one middleware which is known as security middle. Okay, so there are different types of middleware. So here in this situation, security middleware will be used, right? So I hope you are understanding. After this, let's create the project and let's try to create a project on middleware concept. Okay, so let's write one node here. So what's the node? Node is, so the first node is middleware is applicable for every incoming request. Incoming request, the request is coming from the user to the server. Okay, so middleware applicable on incoming request and outgoing response, right? Okay, it is not like on incoming only the middleware we can apply, but on outgoing as well we can apply the middleware concept. Second note is based on our requirement, we can configure our own. Okay, so means whenever is requesting, whenever user is requesting. So where the request will go, it will check the path. It will check the URLs .py, and then after that it will go to the views.py. But let's suppose I don't want to move it to the views.py page. I want to keep here my own custom middle. So you can redirect this request to your own custom middle. And then you can go to the views. Otherwise, you can uh, control this. Like it cannot access the views. So it's up to you. there is one more important point, which is whenever you are defining any customized middleware, whenever you are creating any customized middleware, means every customized middleware is a Python class, and it is the child class of objects, right? So what does it mean? So whenever we are creating any customized middleware, so customized middleware is nothing but that is the Python class. Okay, and that Python class, every Python class is a class of object class, is a child class of object class. Every Python class is the child class of which class? Object class, right? For example, okay, for example, let's suppose I'm creating the class A. Okay, so I'm creating a class A, and this class A. Okay, so this is the A class. So which is the parent class of this class? Who is parent to this class? Okay, let's suppose this is the A, and I'm creating class. Let's suppose B. Okay, and I'm writing here A. So what does it mean? It means, what does it mean? It means the parent class of B is what? A. A is a parent of B. So B is what? Child class. And A is what? Parent. But who is the parent of A class? Okay. So the answer is whenever you are creating these classes, so the object is a parent. Who is the parent? Object class is a parent. Okay. Or we can write something like this, class A. Whenever we will talk about class A, okay. So class A by default is a child class of which class? Object class. Okay. And this class B, I'm just trying to understand you the concept, like how the child and parent concept work. I'm trying to tell you. Okay, I'm not writing the proper. Okay, so the parent class, whatever class you are creating, the parent class of any class is what? Is the object class. Okay, so if there is no parent of A, then by default the parent of A is what? Object. Who's the parent of B? The B parent is A class. Okay, and the grandparent of B is the object class. Okay, I hope you guys are understanding about it. Okay. So the next important point is about this class concept. Okay, so we have discussed about this class A. So class A parent is what? Which class? Object class. Okay. And when we are talking about class, okay, so whenever you are writing class A, so if you're writing like this or if you're writing like this, so both are same. Both are same. If you will not write this syntax, means by default this A class is the child class of object. Okay. And there is a special note. This Python class should contains two mandatory methods. Okay. So what are the two mandatory methods for this class? Okay. So the first mandatory method is, you can say, def init. Okay, so what is this init? This init is nothing but a constructor. So if it belongs to the class, if it is belongs to the particular class, we need to write here self. Okay, so self keyword we need to write here. Okay, so it's not mandatory you have to write self, but any name you can write. And the second thing we have to write, which is get underscore response. Right now, what is this get underscore response? So this get underscore response is a function which can be used to send the request to the next level and to get the required response. So which through that get response, what we can do, we can send the request to the get the response. Okay, so let me write it also. Get underscore response is a function which can be used to send request the next level and to get the required response. Okay, this method will be executed only once at the time of creating middleware class. Okay, middleware class object, which is mostly happen the time of server start. Okay, so whenever you will start the server, so this method will be executed. Right? This method will be executed only once at the time of creating middleware class object. Okay, which is mostly happen at the time of server starting. So whenever you will start the server, it will execute at first time. Okay, so this is the one important point. Second important point is for the second points we will write. Let's note it. Okay. Another method is call method underscore. Okay, so when the method starting with underscore, that is known as render method. So here we have one request parameter. Okay. So what this method will do? So this method will be executed for every request. Okay, so whatever the request will go to the server. So for each request, this call method will execute. Okay, so it will be execute separately. Okay, so let's suppose when we want to get the response, so we can write here self dot get response. Okay, and here you will write the request. Okay, so before this, right, we can say before this there is some code which is we can say code for pre-processing of request. Okay, and after this also some code for the post processing. Code for post process of request. Okay, so whenever incoming and outgoing responses are generating, so there will be a pre-processing code and the post-processing code. Right, so this call method will here get the response, and this response we generally store in a variable. The variable name is the response. Okay, and after that, what we do? We return the response. Okay, so like that the things work. Okay, so there is one more important point. So middleware classes we have to define. Okay, so whatever middleware classes are there, we have to define inside what? Inside the middleware.py. Okay. And where is this middleware py file? So it is inside the inside the application. Okay, in the Django you will create the project, and in the project you will create the application. So inside the application you may get the middleware.py file. Okay, so it's all about theory only. Okay, and I think we have taken a lot of time to discuss about this middleware concepts. But in the next class, we will try to create the project on the same. Okay, so from the next class, we will create the middleware project. We will use the middleware concept in our project. Okay, so this is an important note. You should read it, you understand it, then we will create the project for the same. Okay, so thank you everyone for giving your valuable time.